Welcome, traders. Dr. Keith in for Rob. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025. Hope you're doing well. Hey, so, folks, I've got the NQ up here on the 5-minute chart. And one of the things in the Well Charts live training room I've been teaching over the last week and a half has been how I use the volume profile. Okay, for many, they've never heard of it. But for me, the way I use it is actually really simple. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit there. And I started at 6 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern, because that's when the new day starts in the futures market, right? And then so when I come in the morning, what I'm looking for is, where are the transactions happening? And so we can see here, and I stopped it basically during this time frame in the morning, so that you could see what I was looking at this morning. I didn't extend it through the rest of the day. But what we can see is this is where a lot of the transactions were happening here. Let's just call it 23,930 area, okay? And so what we look for, this can be support and resistance. And what I call it in the Well Charts live training room is it's kind of like the magnet. So, we had a Heikin Delta Smooth here about 8:30 saying this is probably the bottom. We had a nice blow off wick as well. And then, the point of control, which is the most traded area, will typically be the magnet back up to that magnet. Okay. And so when you look at stuff like that, what I was looking for then at the 9:30 open was, a move higher. And so if I go back to now the 1 minute chart on the NQ and I zoom here, where we turned right here see, this is 10 o'clock. Okay, so once the champion trend then turned green, we had a flat bottom. Okay, we also had a has on that smaller time frame. And at the same time, we were bullish on the Heikin algorithm. Okay, that was looking to enter there. Okay, so we took that trade together. And what I was looking for was what I call a funding trade. Okay, and a funding trade. And what that is folks, is I look for, obviously larger amounts of profit, but the stop's going to be a little wider as well because you have to give it room. So anyway, this was a really nice move. We ended up getting 40 ticks on this move, folks, as it went higher. And that was on part of the trade. And then we had a trailing stop that trailed us out. So, sometimes these can get much larger wins. In this case, it was still 40, but we were following the rules, eliminating risk as soon as we can. Right. And then once you have a trade where part of your trade is at break even, the other's been booked as profits, right? That's always a good feeling. And then again, the goal is to get up to that target that you're looking for to get funded. Okay. Now, when I look a little bigger picture, as we head into Monday, so, obviously right now, U.S. Russia is negotiating. Who knows what will happen between now and Monday? But when I look at the daily chart here on the NASDAQ, it's pretty obvious to me, we're in an uptrend, super bullish. Today's candle is more of an indecisive candle. And again, it broke through that original divergence. If it can hold here, I do think next week we're going to continue higher from that daily perspective. We had a TRP crossback here, a Laguerre, a flat bottom Heikin back in the direction of the trend. We're bullish on the algorithm. So yeah, I'm still bullish. That does not mean every day is going to go higher. But as a day trader then, when I get into Monday, right, if we can have another flat bottom or nice solid green Heikin daily candle, my bias overall will be to the upside. So what I love to see in those cases is if this is the chart, right, you're in an uptrend, you get that pullback on that smaller time frame, and then you look to go back in the direction of that trend. Okay, so come join me Monday. I look forward to seeing everybody. I'll be in at 9:30 Eastern as part of Well Charts. Other than that, folks, have a great weekend. Take care.